I have been creating some content that talks about how and why I believe that Expedition 33 is an indie game. And to me, it just kind of felt obvious to call them that because it was a guy that left the giant Ubisoft to build something more personal. The more I read those comments, the more I started to realize that that had become more a vocabulary argument. We've been trained by the systems we live in to think in black and white, right and wrong, authentic versus sellout, AAA versus indie. Corporations love that kind of thinking because it just gets easier to separate and divide everything and control everything. If you can label things neatly, you don't really have to think about how they feel or what they represent. But creativity is not binary like that. It just spills out of every line we try to draw around it. Being an indie developer has always meant self publishing, self funding, and smaller teams. And yes, if we go by that definition, Sandful Interactive does not qualify. But the only thing that is constant is change. And not because we in the past agreed on a definition, it means that it has to stay like that forever. When I refer to Expedition 33 as indie, I mean the risk taking, the personal vision, the non existent corporate rigidness. Teams that feel like human instead of departments. Teams that have that emotional honesty that we don't get when everything is run through a marketing filter. That is the energy that people are responding to in Clair Obscur. A game that feels handcrafted, painterly, emotional, intentional. Expedition 33 got nominated for Best Independent Game and Best Debut Indie Game, amongst other 10 nominations. And what I'm seeing is that the industry is getting confused. It is really struggling to name a transition that is already happening. The borders between indie, AA, and AAA are slowly but surely blurring. And this is why this matters so much to me. If Clair Obscur wins Game of the Year, it is going to be a solid proof that games should not cost $99, that they don't have to glorify crunch, and they can actually prioritize vision and talent. They are proof that cheaper and smaller can actually be a strength when it comes with trust, love, and respect. And people are finally asking the question, does it really have to cost $1 billion to make, leaving a trail of layoffs and burnout to be considered the game of the year? Guys, if we cling too hard on rigid labels, we are gonna miss what's happening in front of our eyes. It is the same black and white thinking that corporations use to strip people from their agency and make creativity just a product line. So I'll just leave you with this. Maybe the real question is not if this game is AA, AAA, or indie. And maybe the question is if this game came from a place of autonomy, genuine expression, and trust.